Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Computer Wednesday, we're going to talk about Framework 2025 update. So they have announced some new things. So let's dive deep into it. So just in case you do not know why the heck it's a big deal, it's a Framework is a computer incorporation, American computer manufacturer. Same way HP and Dell, they generally do not make the silicon or even the PCB. They just assemble everything and sell you the product, be it a laptop, be it a desktop. It's called a computer manufacturer. So they are a computer manufacturer. They're not going and they're making their own silicon. They are just an assembler. So computer manufacturer. It was founded in January 2020. So not very old, only 5 years old. And their core focus is right to repair. Now you have to understand, in the early years of let's say 1990s, there were a lot of amazing laptops manufactured, and they were built like a tank, and they were built to last. Inherently, they were designed, and as early as like I would say 2005, you could have bought a ThinkPad that could have been like built like a tank, kept working like a tank, and there is like a legendary status of those generation ThinkPads. But over time, all this equipment became what we call planned obsolescence, meaning they are designed in such a way that the moment warranty period is over, this thing breaks itself. Now, you have to understand, you never want your product to break just getting out of the shop. People will be very pissed off. So you want to make sure that people should forget when they bought it, and it should be outside the warranty, so it's not an issue for you, and then it should break itself. So over time, laptops, which used to be like just like a desktop, as in like it was serviceable, it was repairable, and batteries were super easy from all brands. Heck, many models had like literally same battery type inside the same company. For example, Dell, they had like 8 cell or 6 cell or something like that, 6 cell or 8 cell battery, and they used it for multiple systems, so you can easily replace it, swap it, and keep using it. If your keyboard broke, keyboard was an assembly that was designed to be serviceable, so it used to last very long time. But now everything is made like it should last for the warranty period, and then it should be bricked. So this company is directly focusing to fix that right to repair. Now, why does that matter? Well, think in this way. When I say to people what is their laptop experience, most common issue that you will hear is like laptop is slow. Now your mind should be like, okay, how the heck laptop could become slow? Like how? It's not an engine. Why the heck it's becoming slow? Well, you dive deep into the CPU, and then you figure out all CPUs, all modern CPUs after from let's say 2015, almost all of them have something like thermal velocity, meaning it can spike very quickly. Basically a pseudo overclock. It will do itself if it detects the temperature is stable. Meaning if it clocks, hey, I'm only at 50 degrees C. The person opens up a let's say Photoshop. It's like it starts to load up lot. It needs higher clock. At that point, it will go wing. It will just load up a lot of oomph into the CPU. CPU does a lot of crunching, dumps the heat, and then it clocks back down to normal thing. Now, back in the old days, CPU was like this, flat line. Now, and again, they had states, but it was not a very dynamic thing. Now it's super dynamic. So how do you have a laptop that becomes slow? Well, that dynamic boost is not happening. Why it's not happening? Most likely your heat sink is clogged up with dust or clogged up with hairs. God help you if it's a hair. So at that point in time, thermal velocity is like, hey, the person opens up something demanding. Let me amp it up. So it tries to amp it up, temperature spikes very quickly, and computer's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Because we do have, thankfully, self thermal prevention. So it will like downclock itself to so not fry itself. Tada! Everything is working, but you are not getting the feel, the performance. That happens just because of thermal systems garbage performance. Then you have other thing that people don't think about, but it generally affects it, is that SSD slows down as you fill it up. Meaning if you bought a brand new laptop, you load it up with some games, and most of the SSD is empty. Let's say you bought 1 terabyte SSD and only let's say 200-300 GBs are full, and it's like mostly empty. It's fast. The page loading file that is going on the CPU and SSD is super fast, it's quick. But now you have used it, now it's almost 900 GB full, or almost like 950 GB full. The remainder is not fast enough, meaning the cache overflows very quickly, and computers like, oh, the SSD. These are the two reasons why people will feel the laptop will become like very slow. And sometimes battery was also a role, because some advanced ones, this is not a very common thing, but some advanced laptops have a chip that reads the battery health, and if battery voltage sags too quickly, it will throttle the CPU. It's like whoa, 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 whoa. On battery power, the CPU can detect the health. Again, it will not be CPU, it will just get a command power rail issue, and the BMS will be like, bro, this cell is degraded. Apple did that with iPhone, and people are like, what the hell? It's like, you're supposed to do that. It's just that you're supposed to tell people. You're not supposed to F them. You're supposed to tell them. So Lot of things like that makes laptop not last as long. I used my last desktop for 10 years. I could not even imagine doing that with laptops. Not because laptop hardware is inferior, it's just that they are designed to be inferior. So this company is directly changing on that. So the idea is actually repairable and serviceable, and people forget about this part, serviceable. Like I can increase the lifespan of almost all laptops if I do these two things: clean the goddamn heat sink, or again thermal paste. Some of them really have cheap heat paste. Take care of that part, and keep increasing SSD as SSD gets cheaper. So serviceable, like people always forget, is like, oh, servicing a laptop, you're supposed to service it. It's a mechanical thing that is going like this. You're supposed to service it. So, and repairable, because most time people do, oh, I need to upgrade my laptop. The people throw away their laptop because one part break. It's like, oh, screen cracked, yeet, battery swap, yeet. And again, European Union is like, we're gonna pass a law. Awesome. We're gonna pass a law that people have to give you, battery of laptops. Cool, awesome. Yeah, it's just they did not do anything about the law. As in, like, if the BOM cost is this much, you can only charge 2x or 5x like that. So companies like, oh, $600 laptop, awesome, GG. It's gonna cost you $300 for the battery. It's like, who the hell is gonna do that after 3-4 years? Nobody. So companies are effing the customer that way. So they are focusing on these two parts: repairable and serviceable. Upgrade is just a side bonus. It's not the aim. So many YouTubers who are like, oh, it's like, what's the point? Like, you can buy 2 high-end laptops. That's not the point. Most of the times you do not throw away your laptop because like, oh, I want more power. It's just like something little goes, oops. You want a proof of that? Google how many court cases Apple has lost class action lawsuit regarding their laptops. Horrendous. Like, people will generally throw it away because keyboard bricked itself. So repairable, serviceable allows your same laptop, which again we used to have that, to, hey, it's a thing that is meant to last. It's not designed to be outside of warranty. Bleh. It's like, outside of warranty, I'm good, bro. I'm good. We got this. We got this. So that's the whole point. And you get, because they are focusing on them, they are like, okay, to sweeten the pot, they have flexibility and customizability. Meaning, in their laptop 16, they're like, hey, half of the people do not like numpad. They hate numpad. Okay, eat that part out. Otherwise, like, bro, I am, you do know so much numbering job. I need that. Have it. That's up to you. And again, it's like, I want my touchpad to be on this side or that side. Do it. Serviceable. Now, I'll give you a simple example. Laptops generally now have very few ports, but here's the deal. Which ports? Everybody has different demand. For example, if I give you 4 ports, you cannot design 4 ports that everybody agrees to. So for example, let's say a trader who does not need a lot of compute, but do need a lot of display output. Even though your laptop has enough GPU power to run all those graphs and all that, it just does not have ports on a laptop. If you have this, it's like, hey, I got you, fam. What if I put HDMIs on both sides? And then it's like, okay, I bought HDMIs, but here's the deal. Computer monitors generally have DisplayPort. I want DisplayPort. Cool. Plonk DisplayPort. And then again, somebody who's doing a lot of media consumption, it's like, I would love if I had HDMI. Plonk that puppy in. So adaptability, like, hey, I want a USB-A because I use USB-A mouse. The port should be on this side. Boom, do it. So customizability and flexibility. So it's a completely grounded approach to laptops, where laptop is not designed to self-destruct, and customizability and flexibility is just a bonus. Core essence is repairability and serviceability. So that's why this is such a big deal. So what was the history? Well, they started with a laptop 13, super awesome name. How big is the laptop? 13. Started selling in July 2021. And here's the deal. They have kept their promise. Now, if you're old enough, as in like me, you must have heard that back in the days, Alienware tried to do this, MSI tried to do this. All of the time, they failed to make a upgradable, serviceable laptop. And those laptops were expensive. And customers just got burnt. So people were very skeptical. It's like, can you actually do it? Like, you are claiming, I'm me good, bro. You make claims, me good, bro. Can you deliver the goddamn claim? So they're like, yeah, they actually kept it. They actually did it. Meaning, if you had bought your laptop in July 2021 and you feel like, you know what, this is cool and all, but I would like more oomph, they're like, swap the motherboard. And here's the deal. People many times like, oh, but you're still creating e-waste. Rather than creating e-waste of a whole laptop, what if you create e-waste of just a small part? The whole idea is, thou shall take 100 grams of e-waste over 1 kilogram of e-waste. You're not eliminating the problem, you're reducing the problem. Reduce, reuse, then recycle. So you reduce it. That's the whole point. Instead of having 2 laptops and one whole laptop as a e-waste, you just have one component that is e-waste. And on top of that, because they knew that they're swapping the the motherboard and all that, is like, what to do? Well, they talked with Cooler Master. It's like, bro, this is awesome, compact, awesome thing. People love this. People want compact, low power system. People will love it. It's just that if you can package it, they're like, hey, I got you. Case for it. And they're like, hey, not everybody have access to it or may not want to pay for it. Cool. We have 3D printer. Like 3D printer would be cheaper. Yeah, actually 3D printers are dirt cheap now. I have Ender 3, and again, most of the places you can just order it, they will print it for you. So all of that. And again, you can design your own. People have made some cool stuff. Heck, somebody built an actual gaming deck out of it. So they figured out that you can replace your equipment, and they made sure the motherboard is designed such a way that you can actually use it. I'm not joking. I had a very ancient, my brother had a Sony Vaio laptop. I thought I could use it as a headless mode, basically without its display. No, it does not. It does not allow you. You have to trick its BIOS to go into that system. Only then it will do the VGA output. Things of this nature is there. Like a lot of laptops will not allow you to go into headless. They're like, what is head? So this is the whole point. Subtle things. It's not like, what if we F the customer? It's like, what if we not F the customer? So it's super awesome. The core mother has been upgraded 3 times. So if you had the laptop, you were super fun out of it, you can still keep using it. It's like, hey, I'm cool, I'm awesome. And you're like, hey, I would love a new upgrade. And they have a new upgrade, boom, do it. Display and webcams, now they do suffer the penalty that they are a tiny company. They cannot go to, yo, LG, my man, I need this display resolution, I need this sort of data output and all that. Yeah, they can't do that. They don't have that kind of scale. So given that constraint, the first display was okay. It was not the greatest, but not the worst. But then again, because they sold enough of it, the people like, hey, bulk order, baby. So they improved it. And again, they listened to the customer. Customers like, give me this exact resolution, but it allows us 200% text scaling. It will make awesome job. They're like, okay, cool, awesome. I'm still waiting for touchscreen though. But again, I can hope that it could happen. And webcam. Webcam is, potato, garbage, all of them. They're like, hey, what if we kept working on it? So small IC module, just swap it, new webcam. So these sort of things shows that it's not just empty promises like, Dell, HP, and MSI. It's like they are actually delivering. It's like, hey, we sold you upgradable, repairable, serviceable equipment, and we are giving you that. So that is being done. And they are implementing customer feedback, which is that true? Is that possible? Is it legal? It's like, are you telling me that company actually listened to the goddamn customer? Like they did had some flaws, growing pain. They did had some growing pains. For example, they forgot that your coin cell battery is supposed to leach energy from the main lithium-ion battery pack, because otherwise it could drain so low that it's like dead. At that point in time, you cannot boot the computer on battery alone, even though battery is powerful enough. So that was a mistake. Again, they openly acknowledge it. Again, big companies do not acknowledge problems even if they have horrendous problems. Example, Apple. Look into, and again, HP, Dell, they have like a freaking Reddit threads where you can figure out, oh, yep. So they had a problem, they did not hide from it. They actually openly talked about it, figured out a solution for it, again, as best they can do. And on top of that, made sure the version 2 updates and a new system did not have the problem. So it's amazing. People are like complaining about, hey, the battery taps and all that is not that great. Okay, in the same package, the new core system where the motherboard and battery are different, designed in such a way that you do not have to worry about it. So they are actually implementing feedback. So that is awesome. And they do have growing pains. This was the silly mistake. This is like, come on, bro. But again, they are human, they are people. Oops, happen. And again, they acknowledged it. They have my respect. So history does show that they are a company that is here to stay and they are actually keeping their promise. So it is mind-boggling that it actually happened. From all the promises from Alienware, from all the promises of MSI, and I think even Gigabyte at one point tried that. All of those promises never delivered, and they delivered it. Then we come to the newest launch, which is Dell Desktop Framework. Now, it's not a desktop, let that be very clear, not a classic desktop as you think about it. It's more like a mini PC. It's closer to Apple Mini Mac compared to a desktop like what I have. So why is this? Well, here's the deal. AMD kind of went full cuckoo when they were designing this processor. The processor is AMD Ryzen AI Max. Now, this chip, that actual silicon, is mind-bogglingly awesome. Now, you have to understand, AMD has kind of been ahead compared to Intel for years in terms of integrated GPU. So both companies have a basic GPU, like Intel was really good at basic GPU, but AMD tried to put Radeon GPU into CPU, which they called APU. And it was good. They were like actually good, on-die processing, graphics processing, they were good. This time they're like, what if we flexed. So you must have heard this Apple term is like unified memory. So the idea is you have a giant memory bank and you dynamically allocate it, meaning it's like your CPU is not needing a lot of RAM, but your graphics memory would love the RAM. Allocate it such a way. So if you have 32 GB, you can swipe how much, like 20 GB is going to GPU and the remainder is for CPU. Or it's like, hey, doing something completely opposite, rendering something, or it requires a lot of crunching power, let's say CAD or something like that. It's like, hey, downscale it. The GPU only gets 2 GB and you have rest for the CPU. So unified memory. They're like, we can do that. We are good. We got this. They did that. So they went up to 128 gigabytes. Yeah. So they flexed a bit. And on top of that, they made it fast. They made it 8000 megahertz and they made it 256-bit bus. Now, here's the deal. Why it's soldered rather than, not being soldered? Well, that's why I keep saying it's not a computer. It was a basically IC that was made for laptops. It's a laptop SoC that, again, AMD did went to all their vendor partners. It's like, yeah, bro, we can't put this in a laptop. You designed it, cool, awesome. It's just that it requires 100 watt TDP. Yeah, it's not viable to practically put in a laptop. So they're like, hey, what if we take the same silicon, put it in a more free environment? So this is why it is. Now, could they do sodium? No, hell no. You can't do 8000 megahertz on those sort of things. Can you do in CAM modules? Yes. Then why didn't they? Well, most explanation I have, most likely, is the silicon was designed in that way that does not have the voltage required for CAM. And on top of that, CAM is designed for 128-bit. It's not designed for 256-bit. And again, that's why I said, like, this silicon was designed as a package. It's like, what if we created a laptop that can run local large language model with more than enough horsepower to directly go toe to toe against with most high-end GPUs? Now, because you have to understand, the GPU part is not the limiting part most of the time. Some scenarios it is, but most of the time it's not the limiting part, it's the VRAM overflow. It's like, what if you have dynamic RAM up to 128 gigabyte? So what does this mean? This simply means they had a unique hardware and that hardware did not fit anything. It's too powerful for a laptop, too weird and locked down for a full-size desktop. So like, what if mini desktop? So that's what they did. Now here's the, what does this mean? This simply means if you are in Windows, Microsoft Windows, you can tune it such a way that almost 90 gigs of VRAM is available to your GPU. Meaning if you are running a large LLM, 90 gigabyte model can be run on Windows. And if it's on Linux system, you can go even better. So that is shut up, take money, and you cannot find this in around $2,000. Nothing, like nothing. And like, it's not that high end, it's like only 4070 kind of power, 4060, 4070 kind of. Yeah, I have 4070 Ti. Awesome CPU, horrendous performance. Why? Well, most game engines are designed for game packages that you see. It's designed for 16 because again, all of the consoles have that. So nobody bothers to goddamn tune it. It overflows. The moment it overflows, FPS chucks. This is like, what is overflow? Like, this puppy is so huge, I can literally give it to my gaming friends who are like doing the rendering and all that. They can just run the thing without optimizing it. So they get like, okay, let's run the damn thing, figure everything out, then we can optimize it. That's the benefit of like, there are certain requirements where you need that 90 GB and you're like, shut up, take money, go home. So for those sort of people, $2,000 for this sort of equipment, shut up, take money. And again, unless AMD sits down and it's like, okay, let's work with CAM modules from day one, only then I think they can put with CAM module, because CAM module does have this idea of symmetric running, meaning they can have 128-bit on one physical chip, 128-bit, so you can get 256-bit of oomph. So it can be done, but again, at this point in time, for computer science students, people who are actually doing this and need of a small PC, this is shut up, take money. It's kind of uniquely awesome, but again, it's only uniquely awesome because of this. If I like, can I make a smaller PC like this? Yeah, you can. Like, you can actually make some good PC, but again, it would be PC. You're not gonna get even like a small unit as this. Yeah, you're not gonna get more than, let's say, 24 gig of VRAM. So if you need more than that, this is the only option. So it's a very fine-tuned tool. The idea is that it's made for students, people who are like, I need a small system. I do not have the luxury. Like people in Tokyo, they do not have giant apartment where like I have this huge hall where I have like computer A, computer B, computer C. I have 2 computers right now. So one I'm using as a NAS. So for those sort of people, shut up, take money. And what about standardization? Well, the form factor is ITX. What does this mean? This simply means you use it, after a few years, you put it in a cupboard and forget about it. 10 years later, you pull it out. Oh man, wouldn't it be nice if I could use it? You can swap out the motherboard with new one or swap out with a normal ITX systems. Enjoy. And again, the PSU, most likely component to go bad, again, depends on your local conditions. Some places have really bad voltage, and if you're running it without UPS, and even with UPS, you would reach a point where it's like, yeah, it fries itself. Swap it, normal component. So given the constraint, and again, cleanable filters, it's like we've built cars, everything has cool, cleanable filters. Computers, nah. It's like, this is good. And again, this sort of stacking, again, do you need this? For majority of people, no. For the people who need this, shut up, take money. So it's a unique hardware, unique approach, but it's not a desktop, it's more of a mini PC. And the reason why it's so convoluted, it's simply because AMD Ryzen AI Max, which they wanted to put in a laptop, and no manufacturer is like, yeah, nope, not happening. So this is what it is. The case is normal standard, the PSU is normal standard part. So they did their best. So this is framework desktop. Again, for most people, it's not very useful. For people who need it, they're like, shut up, take money, this is good. Now, laptop 12. Now, this is their final baby, so to say. So laptop 12, laptop 13 gave them a lot of learning experience. They put all the learning experience in this puppy. And the target point is below $1,000 when they launch it. Now, does that make it cheap or expensive? Well, given the inflation, it makes it kind of low end. Now, can you, at that point in time, when it will launch in the market, as in when you can physically buy it, would you be able to buy better specs compared to this puppy in the market? Absolutely, you should be able to. And if you're not, other companies are trolling you. So they should be able to. However, this is built to last. Does that matter? Again, for most people, yes. For techie, no. Techies can actually handle their hardware. And when you're talking to normal people, there's a yeet. So for example, they're directly focusing on school, and you can go to schools right now, even in India, and they're like, here's our giant pile of e-waste known as Chromebooks. It was super cheap, but they bricked itself very quickly when kids are started to. And if you are ever worked with children, children are nuclear reactor level destructive when it comes to hardware. So yeah, keyboard, bye-bye. Most keyboards are, most Chromebooks are not even, nobody even thought of it. What if you replace the keyboard? It's like, no, just buy a new system. So the software is good part. The Chromebook software experience good. Hardware, children are using it. So it's like, it's CE. So this puppy was designed from day one to survive children's hand. Again, I do not think it will last too long because again, children, nuclear reactor, but it should do a bit better. For example, the case has like hardware grade metal, and all the edges have soft rubber TPU to allow it to survive some bit more oomfish experience, like with children basically. So it's built to last in a rough environment, aka children, school, colleges. And again, a lot of college students like, bro, I do not need like really high end, but I would love to take down notes. They're like, what if we folded it like a tablet? Awesome. What if you can write it? Now, when I was in my institute, I would have loved this. Because again, I really wanted to do graphics designing in this sort of system. We call it Wacom. So we had tablets. I still have tablets, so good tablets, drawing tablets. But to have a screen on that tablet, Wacom, like, ooh, that was expensive. Wacom, I think it's called Cintiq, ludicrously expensive. Again, from Cintiq's point of view, this is cheaper. I'll rather buy this. And they're giving you that. For many people, shut up, take money. Touchscreen, shut up, take money. Having the actual stylus and all that, shut up, take money. So really good and really serviceable, meaning they realized if you give children the option that you can swap out the ports, they're going to throw it away. That's going to happen on minute one. So they're like, hey, if we are designing it for people who are going to do a destructive thing to it, okay, open it up completely, then screw it down. So you can't just like yeet it out of there. So I'm pretty sure somebody will break it, but nuclear reactor part. So all of those things are designed in such a way that it can survive. It's like, Arrow season 1, survive. So everything is designed to survive. Another benefit is how they are managing the cost is simply, again, they do not have the luxury of economy of scale, but they figured out something. Companies like profit margin, so they do not like to make cheap laptops. So they want that profit margin to be huge. You can't do that with normal desktop processors or even a laptop processor. So they come up with the idea, use embedded processor on a freaking laptop. So you have N100 CPUs, which are like, again, not a bad CPU, but it's closer to Raspberry Pi than to a laptop. So people have very cheap laptops, but it's idiotically bad in terms of compute. So they're like, hey, we can't do that. That will be garbage. And we do not have the economics code. What is the next best option? It's like, hey, we already have the schematics for Intel 13th Gen, which we launched with, our first one. What if we use that? We have already paid for R&D and all that and all of those things using, and again, the cost has come down. So why not use that? And again, it's a far more mature platform. That was clever. That was clever. It's like using, and again, that's how computer used to be. Rather than having mid-range parts or low-end parts, we always used to have like last generation old part. So that no longer is possible for some reason. But they're like, hey, there is no law saying that we can't do that. It's like, hey, what if we use that? And again, even if they're like, hey, battery life was not that great, downclock the processor performance. At least you will still get all the latest horsepower, all the cores and all that. And instead of clocking that thermal velocity going YOLO, it's like, hey. And again, running Chromebook like software does not require a lot of horsepower. So everything about this is directly focused on low end and robust metal infused plastics with rubber edges, everything designed so hopefully it can survive a children for more than 5 minutes. So this is laptop tool, and I do expect this to be very popular, assuming it does not have day one bug like that battery bug, but I don't think they will make that mistake again. So, and again, stylus and all that is really good. So this is laptop tool, and again, you imagine giving this to a whole computer science students, like whole lab full of kids, and again, you can train them. It's like, hey, laptops, computers, they have coolers, servers, and again, that's why server has climate control room, dust control, because otherwise the fans will clog up. Open it up, clean the goddamn thing. Open it up, swap the SSD. The only thing I hate, they have tiny SSD. I get it that the cost competitiveness is like, but it's like that part I'm like not comfortable with that. But okay, you win some, you lose some. So this is laptop 12. There's a good chance this could be a successful thing. Now, let that be very clear. While I do love this company and I am happy that it's here, it's real, there are still a small scale vendor. Like the amount of unit they have sold would be equivalent to one model. Like Dell Inspiron 15 would be like, yeah, bro, I have sold that many. So they have very small scale. Even though they have been working for 5 years, they are like nowhere near Dell or HP or MSI even, or Gigabyte. So they're a small scale vendor. So what does this mean? This simply means cost is not that great. They could make high, if very cost, but unless Bill Gates invest in them, they do not have that kind of cash flow to justify it. So the refresh is very slow, and it does hurt. It does hurt. So I'm not gonna deny that. And it's not gonna be available worldwide. Even though I really want to buy it, I am most likely I won't. And I'm given the current boom that is happening because of Trump and their tariff. I don't even again. I will not blame any companies like bro. Right now is not the great time for expansion. I understand that. And it does not have touchscreen in all systems. I'm like, that part is just annoying. It's like you knew you need touchscreen. You made it. It's just like, bro, come on. So these are small things that is like, bro, come on. Little bit of effort. And GPU choice, they are like, okay, we're going to make swappable GPU. Awesome. Give another GPU. And I do understand. NVIDIA is like very anal about companies, whereas like, no, you have to create garbage. And yes, trust me, look into how NVIDIA does a voltage power rail management. And then you're like, yeah, no wonder their plugs are melting. They do not know how to do it. They're like, either they have some very qualified, overqualified engineers who are bored and they make a random BS. There is individuals in YouTube who actually opens up the cards. It's like, this is how you balance normal voltage rail. And this is how NVIDIA does it. It's like, yep, no wonder NVIDIA's plugs are melting. So NVIDIA does not allow a vendor freedom as much as AMD does. And right now, again, even if you cannot give other vendors, at least give the latest one. Again, they do not have the scale. So RX 7700, and again, by the time 9000 will come in, I'm pretty sure that time 10,000 would be launched. And then it goes with same with Intel Arc. They haven't launched it. So this does show that they do not have the oomph, the financial depth, like they do not have Jeff Bezos level pocket. So they cannot really make it viable yet. Like viable as in like, it's a company, you can buy it, you can enjoy it. People have been doing so. It's just not like, yo, butter experience. So that is there. So there are certain limits you have to, and again, I have no idea why they are calling it a desktop. It's not a desktop, it's a mini PC. Again, for a mini PC, it does have some unique advantage. And again, even from a cost point of view, say like $2,500, I like give you $2,500, find me something that has 80 GB of VRAM. Oh, scale it down, 40 GB of VRAM. You can have very high GPU horsepower, but you can't have the VRAM. So for those sort of people, it's like shut up, take money. So there are genuine advantages, but as a mini PC, like as a desktop, no. And it's basically, they had awesome silicon from a vendor. They're like, hey, what if we package it differently? So there are certain limits. I would love this company to be successful. I would love some rich people to dump a lot of money into this so they can get that initial hump across. Otherwise, but such is life. You win some, you lose some. I'm hopeful for this. If this move enough unit as they are expecting, and again, it will be mostly done through business to business sale, as in like selling hundreds of them in one go, that should allow them that initial infusion of cash to solve certain issues. Hopeful. I'm hopeful. So this was my presentation on basically framework. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst a friend. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show my extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.